Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Apex at the Lounge here at Drive Lounge Westfield. My name is Zach, I'm joined by Kamarl and Wesley. The gang are back together for episode 2. It's been a few weeks, lads. How's it been going? I mean, you've started your motorsport season, so give us a run through of what's been happening over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so the British Touring Car Championship for 2026 has finally gone underway. So I'm with the Middies. Pretty successful weekend. So we got 3 out of 3 podiums. P2, P3, rookie win with one of the rookies. It's been a busy weekend. I have 5 drivers to look after, go through data, debriefs, setups and all that stuff. But no, all in all, good start to the year. Yeah.
Not bad going. You've been quite busy as well, Wesley, with your whole theatricalness.
Hey. We'll stick to the sim race. I've been doing some practice for the Nürburgring 24-hour, which is, it's been all right. Like me and Kamarl, we jumped in the other day. And like we had a setup on that was really twitchy. Kamarl made a couple of changes and I feel pretty comfy. Excited. Huh?
Are you ready?
I think you have to be. But
how have you found it to be different from a track like Sebring, which has its challenges, transferring into a circuit which is probably one of the most difficult in motorsport?
Yeah. It's basically the same, isn't it? Just a bit longer. No, I'm joking.
I did a couple of laps the other day. My force feedback at home is turned up, and I went into a corner, went over a bump, wheel went, snapped my wrist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Was that in the practice session yesterday?
Yeah, I was doing a couple of laps, and the bumps are brutal. And again, the feedback that we get through our wheelbase is incredible, and you can really feel everything the car is doing. Through the carousel, the car loads up and you throw it in with a decent amount of speed. You almost feel like you've gone in too hard. And then the banking catches you, and then the wheel is loaded up so much. You're holding the wheel very loaded up all the way through. So, but obviously we've been hands-on in terms of getting the drivers prepped, getting them ready, going through data, that sort of thing. I mean, it is a really tough circuit because, circuit like Donington National, really short. There's only, like 10 corners. There's only so much that you can go through. A lot easier to dissect the data. With a circuit like the Nürburgring, where you've got over 100 corners a lap and so many different challenges, you can't just get up a telemetry sheet and go through it corner by corner. It's a completely different approach.
Yeah. You kind of have to pick out driving inconsistencies or incorrect techniques, and then just coach them through those main areas.
And it is mad because it has pretty much every single corner that you can find. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sorry, go on.
And then you just got to find those biggest time losses, which for us it's easier to find. Like say if you're following in a pack, you can kind of see the deltas, and then do a debrief afterwards. So that's what we've been doing.
Yeah. It's so interesting, because it's basically just a huge rally stage, right? So you'll go for a sector, you'll be like, oh yeah, I gained a second, and you go into the next set of corners, you'll lose a second, and then over the whole lap you're sort of everywhere. But from sort of my perspective, like in terms of the Nürburgring, spotting the general inconsistencies, the general driving habits, it's one of two things at the Nürburgring. Either drivers will go in and they'll overdrive tremendously, or they'll be completely under the limit. Yeah. And there's sort of no in between. No one is sort of right in that sweet spot. Once they jump in, it's either they're going way too hard and not always in the barrier, or they just have no way of extracting pace. I mean, that's sort of a challenge for us as drivers, again, spotting those specific technique sort of anomalies, I guess. Because again, a driver will know how to do it because they've done it at a different circuit. They know how to trail brake, they know how to stay out of the ABS. I guess when you get to the Nürburgring, mentally it's a completely different shift, and almost for a lot of people, they don't forget how to drive, but a lot of that training comes undone.
But it's also I think the thing that people overthink the most is learning the whole thing.
Yeah.
You've done 7 minutes or 8 minutes or whatever you're doing around the Nürburgring, and then you have to come back to that point and remember what you did 8 minutes ago, and then figure out what you're supposed to do, if you're supposed to brake earlier, later, or, you know what I mean? Like making those adjustments around there is super difficult. But that's so much fun. That's why the Nürburgring's so much fun. Yeah.
And then for me, those first few laps, we've gone from Sebring, which is like high downforce setup, and then you go to Nürburgring and it's low downforce and everything's a bit more twitchy and on the limit. So just calibrating your mind for the references and going back to that. And then also, like you said, in terms of the underdriving, it's really detrimental at Nürburgring, because when you underdrive the entries, you're more likely to hit those massive entry curbs, and then you get snaps and all that stuff, and then you kind of have to adjust into the corner and then use the throttle to kind of guide you away from that. So that's my main goal in terms of getting Daniel and Khan ready for the race.
Yeah. So when we're, I guess, looking, we've spoken about the sim racing, we're now sort of looking into real life and sort of, looking forward to the real life Nürburgring 24 as well, right? So Max Verstappen, NLS, how he's been getting on. I mean, what do you make of that from sort of, as a motorsport enthusiast, what do you think of Max, dipping his toe into loads of different things?
I think it's incredible, really, especially the following he has from Formula One and getting all the fans in, which you can already see has made a massive difference. And then it's a completely different discipline of driving. Like he's explained the amount of changes he's had to make to his driving style. Obviously, you have to respect the track as well. So yeah, it's great to be seeing him do his stuff there.
It's really cool. I think it's really cool. I love it's. As you said, the amount of fans that he's bringing in is incredible, but I don't know if you've seen the YouTube, the streams and the chat. It's like everyone's a Max fan. It's been incredible to watch him absolutely send it around that place. Like, it's been really fun. And obviously, watching everyone else do their thing as well, you can just, the competition is, like, there's people that are really good as well that people don't know about as much. And I think it's bringing loads of attention to them, which I love as well.
And I think, again, GT3 driving is a very pure form of motorsport. So having these new fans come in and, if, a lot of them are there for Max, but if even only, 30% of them stay and learn the NLS structure as a whole, like that again is a positive thing. On the flip side of that, I mean, it is very good that Max is racing, and it's almost really good to see him get out of a car and smile, because that's, not necessarily been the case for the best part of the last couple of months. But the other side of that is, again, that you've got a huge influx of people coming into the series, and you don't want to sort of expand the bubble too much, because that's something we had in sim racing, right? We had, sim racing being quite small, 2018, 2019, building itself up. COVID happened, sim racing blew up, so much money come in, huge industry, huge prize pools, driver salaries went through the roof, so much so you've got people asking for thousands a month, full-time wages, very good wages for driving the sim racing sort of platform. And then now obviously sim racing is starting to sort of settle itself back in. Do you maybe see that as a thing happening with NLS, making these accommodations for Max for an influx of new fans, and then, if he then does something else, are all those fans still going to be around to stay and enjoy the new accommodations that have been made?
It's a good point to bring, but I mean, before he was able to drive a GT3 car around Nürburgring, he did have to do the same procedures as everyone else. So he had the guide lap, and then obviously he did the GT4 races to get his license. But then since he done that, they said they're going to make different provisions for sim racing drivers in the future. Then also, I think it's just motorsport and what F1 brings. When Fernando Alonso went over to IndyCar, like even me personally, I started watching IndyCar and seeing how he done in the Indy 500. So I don't see it as a bad thing. He's obviously going to have his own following to bring along, but it just brings the whole motorsport community together, in my opinion.
Exactly that though. Like Max fans will go where Max goes. Yeah. And some of them will then fall in love with where Max has been, and some of them will stay. But I think that's also just with certain things as well. Like we get loads of people coming in here to drive Lounge, and like they'll try it out and they might like it, and they'll try it out because their friend tries it, and their friend will keep coming back, and sometimes you'll see their friend coming back as well, and then you'll see them coming back just by themselves because them fall in love with it as well. So I think it's that kind of thing. You get introduced to it, you might like it, you might stick around, you might not. But I hope they don't change anything drastic, because I think how it is really good, and I think the system does work.
Yeah, 100%. And well, with Max and his driving exploits, we spoke about him being a full-time sim racer, and NLS, he's also a part-time Formula One driver as well, which he sometimes enjoys. Miami coming up, we've had a really big break, and also it's been a long wait, hasn't it? So much so they've adjusted the format to extend free practice one. I mean, as a driver, we spoke about earlier a long off season and being prepped and having some cobwebs. At this level in Formula One, do you reckon they can deal with a month off?
Yes, they have all been out on track at some point. So there was the Pirelli tyre test. So the Mercs were at Nürburgring, Ferrari were at Monza, and also did some other testing. So they've all still been busy in the simulator doing that stuff, and they've all going to be bringing upgrades. The extra practice session is more to do with the regulation changes that they've added, which is a bit of a pushback on podcast 1 where we said, is the regulations good or bad?
They were listening to us.
FYI, they just tuned in. They were like, oh,
Hey,
yeah,
guys.
no, they got a point.
Yeah, so they made a few tweaks, so the whole teams are going to have the work cut out because it's a sprint weekend and they only have that extra 30 minutes to dial the cars in.
I can't wait. I feel like we've had longer breaks. Well, obviously the off-season, season finale and what, we've had longer breaks, but it does feel like it's been a long time. Obviously, I've been keeping busy. I've been watched a bit of IndyCar.
Oh, look at you go.
Watched a bit of IndyCar Long Beach. Yeah, that was fun. I watched the Formula Drift as well. I don't know if you've got any drifters out there. Watched the Formula Drift. Oh my God! You know how thick the amount of tire they lay down at the final corner? It's insane. You see them like the IndyCar. They come. They're like, what the hell is this? It's so cool. But yeah, I watched a little bit of that. Then they had IMSA there as well. There has been stuff to watch, but I mean, it's got to come back to Formula One, hasn't it?
Yeah. Miami specifically, the challenges. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I've not really ever been a fan of the track layout. It's not been my cup of tea. It just doesn't tickle me the right way, to be honest. Same with Vegas. I really like COTA in terms of the USA tracks. Miami something about it just lacks character for me. I mean, you look at it and it's got the S sections, it's got some hairpins. That chicane though is just so
it's Mickey Mouse, isn't it?
It's just so janky.
I do like the chicane. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, man. I think it's pretty cool. Ocon in 20? I can't remember what year it was when he was like close to the wall and he went. That was great. It's like I think it separates. I like the corners where you have to send it, and obviously that's not one of the sendy corners there. I think there's what is it? We've got we've got it in the background.
He doesn't learn the track at all.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah. I like the sendy corners, but
where
I do.
Charles went off in 22.
Yeah. Minimum fuel, maximum attack. Oh. Yeah.
Is that what we're going to have though? Minimum fuel, maximum attack and quality.
What maximum battery, baby?
Well, minimum battery. What do we make of the challenges of Miami? And again, now initially, sort of episode 1, the regulations were a little bit fresher in our minds. We maybe we're a little bit safe. Episode 1 of a podcast, maybe we didn't give our true opinions. Now we've had a couple more races and the incident between Behrman and Colapinto as well. Have our opinions changed?
Me personally. There was a driver's briefing before the season, when there is a big battery delta, to stay online, and Colapinto just didn't follow that. So I'm surprised he didn't get as much stick as he did.
I cannot believe he didn't get as much stick. Because
it was proper sketchy, it was terrible. But again, that's a knock-on from these regulations, having these big battery deltas. It's definitely made a change. Also, I think Suzuka was a big L in terms of the regulations. Yeah. Lando Norris coming out and saying that he didn't mean to overtake Lewis. The car just deployed battery. In qualifying Q3, all the drivers were having battery issues. George all weekend. He pressed he upshifted and made a switch change at the same time, and it just dropped the battery deployment 4 straight. So that cost him a podium. So overall, I think these changes are needed, but it's not going to do much in total.
Yeah, that George and Kimi dynamic is quite interesting. I saw a quote from Toto Wolff the other day being like, obviously he is a shareholder in Mercedes, he lives and breathes the brand, right? And Mercedes as a whole, historically has been around in motorsport for over 100 years, it has something to uphold. And if you're Toto Wolff, are you looking at this and saying, well, it's going to be another Nico and Lewis situation? Have they learned from that teammate rivalry? Because fair enough, Ferrari are kind of in the mix, and you could probably bet on McLaren closing the gap as the season goes on, but at least right now in isolation, it looks as though it could be a 2016 repeat. And I think Toto Wolff is conscious of the fact that you've got George, who's hungry to win. He's been at the team, he's invested his career, slogged out at Williams to get that drive in Mercedes, went to Mercedes just as they dropped down, slogged it out still. Now they're on that comeback charge. And he's done that as Kimi Antonelli has come through. He's had a season under his belt. He's come in, he's punchy, he's taken the last 2 victories. He's going to have 2 very willing, very capable drivers to be going against each other, to be racing each other in a very unknown regulation as well, in terms of, we've already seen how quickly things can go very wrong. Yeah. If you're looking at this, if you're Toto Wolff, what are you thinking of the dynamic? You're enjoying it. You've got 2 drivers at the front, but at what point do you maybe put your foot down a little bit?
I think they will be quite well behaved. I know George he races other guys quite hard, but he's been quite fair with Kimi throughout the races so far. And it was only going to get to a point where probably mid-season they're going to have a situation. But other than that, I think it's quite a good dynamic.
I know what you mean. I think the story of George, joining in 2019, being at the back of the field in Williams, waiting for that Mercedes drive, now finally getting it, and with that, now a championship opportunity, he is gonna go for it. But so is Kimi. I think, if I'm honest, I think George definitely thinks he's gonna take it. He's been there for so long. I don't think the last 2 wins probably makes him think a bit, okay, I've got to step up a little bit. But I think he's got the confidence to just be like, yeah. Whereas Kimi is just like, listen, I'm here, I'm doing it, I want to go for it, but we'll see, kind of. I don't know. I think it's going to be fun, and it's nice to have a bit of drama.
I don't think it's that simple, because George coming into the season, even Lando told him, your season favourite and so on. And because Kimi's been there straight away, even when he crashed in Australia, the car wasn't even set up properly. They just put it back together, and he was 2 tenths off and so on. Even those little psychological battles, qualifying in China, his race pace is always good. So George will probably have some self-doubts going in, where do I need to improve against this young up-and-coming driver?
Yeah, we talk about just catching up to drivers and things. I've had that. We've signed Noah Osbaldeston. He's unbelievably quick. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I've heard. I've seen some stuff. Yeah.
We've had our comments together over the course of the season. I'm going to bring him up on it. Don't worry about it. But again, celebrating those wins, I've been chipping away at him, trying to find little bits of time. And I know I'm say 2 tenths a lap off him. If I then end a test session and I'm only a tenth a lap off him, I'm like, yeah, brill. I'm top of the world. So it'd be really interesting actually. Let's get him in. Let's boot you off. Go away. We'll get Noah. We'll have a chat with Noah, see how he's getting on with the team. And so we're now joined by our newest signing here at Drive Lounge Racing, Noah Osbaldeston. He's come all the way down. He's come with me. I'll give him a lift. Joined us a couple of weeks ago. Newest signing on the team. How have you found sort of bedding yourself in and sort of, the last couple of weeks in terms of your results so far? You've been racing in the last couple of series. You're joining us for the Nürburgring 24 this weekend. How are you getting on?
I'll be honest, it's been mad. It's been absolutely mad. For sort of last 2-3 weeks from Scorpio Esports to Drive Lounge, Paul's made it really easy. It's been really simple. Sort of got sent a deal. I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's get it done. And then, sort of first few weeks of racing, first was ALR TTR. So just basically was like, okay, well, let me get the practice down. The driving's easy, but it's always same racing. So let's get the driving bit done. Lots of practice. Lots of all that good stuff. Had a great result, to be fair. Got a 7th, a 6th, and a 1st. So yeah, it was pretty good. And then off to British Sim Racing Cup, and I think we had a rocky season between me and you for the beginning part. So it was all right, to be fair. Just like I said, get the driving bit done, and then the rest is sort of going to fall into place.
No, but it looks like you've been settling really well anyway. Obviously, I'm kind of on the outside of it, but I see the Discord messages. It looks like a good team. You guys look like you've known each other for quite a while as well, which is really cool to see.
Let's just say with how the season's gone so far, he's lucky the camera's there if we're sat this close, because Netherton was diabolical. Let's be honest. Yeah. We have had a couple of come into blows. I always come back to not kill. We signed him the next day. And in both races, we'd made contact.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's fine. Yeah, me and Noah, I've sorted him out. We'll introduce him to Drive Lounge. It'll be good. We'll work together. No. Left hand down coming out of T4. We need to insert the clip because that is awful. Straight on the broadcast in plain daylight, just completely barging me up.
Can I defend myself?
No, you can't. No, absolutely not, because we're just going to cut that bit out anyway. Don't you worry about it. No. It's just, since then, you've just outpaced me, so we've not actually ever been side by side since then, so you've just been happy.
Well, that's the way you've got to deal with it.
He learned his lesson.
Get away from this guy. We'll go back to not kill. I was getting around, the car in front of me slowed down, I thought, okay, I'm going to go around him on the left. And then as soon as I hit around, I was like, bang, and I'm like, oh no, who have I taken out? And you've gone absolutely across the field into the Highlands or something, you've just gone.
I've gone back to Norfolk, mate.
It's I was like, at that point, I was already on 3 penalty points. I thought, yeah, it's done.
That's one of the nice things about, I think, Drive Lounge, the racing team in general. Everyone's so willing to help each other, and the fact that you just come in immediately and you're just you're happy to help out, happy to be because you really do. You want to push the team forward as well, right?
100%. It's all part of it.
Yeah, no, it's really cool.
It's also nice just being a part of a team that, not to discredit anybody, but it's being comfortable as a racing driver is really important. Yeah. And now that I'm comfortable, it's let's get rolling. Like, let's go. Let's
Start from the beginning with you, because from what I've gathered, you know, real racing hasn't been your whole life, but it is something that is quite a big part of what you do now. And sort of tell us how you got into it in your story.
Yeah, so I'm 18 now, so I started karting when I was 15.
Wow.
So I've actually come into it super late. Started with Club 100, great championship, definitely recommend. Absolutely brilliant, great bang for buck. Like, you know, just be able to jump in and be on the, you know, sort of get racing and stuff. It's really accessible as well. But yeah, so I started with that, Club 100. Did a few rounds with that all over the country. It was great to experience different circuits. Bit of Red Lodge as well with Mick doing Young Stars as well. Cool. Sort of when I was 15, and then, but it all started from when I was for my 15th birthday. Just turned up at sort of at Red Lodge and was like, not say immediately quick, but I had something, and one of the coaches pointed it out, and I was like, oh, okay, well, it beats sitting in the bedroom playing PlayStation all day. So yeah, gave it a go. Then sort of progressing through the karting ranks a little bit, sort of through Club 100 into Junior Rotax, did one race in Junior Rotax, got absolutely rinsed.
How were the roads?
Oh, they were okay, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it was the sort of fitness element wasn't quite there yet.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and it is really important in karting, especially in road racing.
Road tax is
your fitness has to be on point, especially if you want to win, you have to be race winning fitness.
Yeah, 100%.
And it is insane the amount of stuff you need to be in the gym, and also seat time as well. So yeah, going through the ranks, did one race in Junior Rotax. Got completely destroyed. Went straight into Senior Rotax, got completely destroyed. And then, so through Red Lodge into Kimbolton, and then did about a year of club level karting. I think, but I didn't have great results. I was never really quick in the cars. I think like the whole driving element was very specific. So driving, I mean, Max Verstappen has also said it a few times, where car driving is so different to the go-karts.
Absolutely.
You know, I sort of sometimes negative thoughts did go into my mind about, you know, I'm nowhere in the pack. I'm maybe, if a top 10 was like a win for me, and out of a grid of 20. So it was, you know, we were playing loads of money into it, and my mum sacrificed so much to get me on the grid. And I was like, you know, is this it already? With 2 years in, I was just like, I'm gonna have to pack it up already. And then Mittel Cars gave me an opportunity in some race cars. And then first test day, immediately on the pace.
Good stuff.
I was like, okay, maybe I can redeem myself a little bit. It's not over yet. We don't have to retire at 15. Sort of. Didn't have to retire already. Because mentality now in like going through the ranks in F1. I mean, I feel like to be an F1 driver, you have to win an F4 season when you're like 12 or something. It's nuts. So you can only be 15, but you've got to be so young going into it, in F4 at 15. You know, got to be an F3 by 16, F2 at maximum 20. Otherwise, the F1 dream's gone.
And it's only getting younger as well. Like when you look at it, I mean, like Jacob Ashcroft, for example, you know, he phenomenal driver, best junior Rotax driver in the world over 2024, 2025. At 14, jumped straight into Ginetta Junior, skipped senior Rotax entirely, went straight into cars, and because I think it just makes sense. And again, because the general sort of momentum of a career is so much younger. You've got people, you know, like again, driving and winning in British F4, GB4 championships when they're 14, 15 years old, basically as soon as they can. And even the drivers that do go into senior Rotax, they do a season in juniors at 12, 13, and they go straight into seniors at 14. And again, they're basically rushing their way through the career because they need to get that experience. They need to have the years in the cars before they then get to Formula One. And you look at drivers like Lando Norris, who 2019 came in as a 19-year-old, Kimi Antonelli, who came in at 18, obviously Max Verstappen most famously jumping into a car when he was very, very young as well. So that progression is only getting younger and younger and younger, forcing people to, do you think they're rushing their careers?
I think you have to, because obviously you mentioned senior Rotax. The class, if you're going to the F1 route, is completely get rid of it. Like, because you go sort of, you could either go IMO Rotax, you go cadets, you go into junior max, and then you've got to go into OKs. You've got to go into Europe, and Europe only realistically, the top level, the World Championships and the European Championships, OK Juniors realistically. So as soon as you're first, I think you could do it from 13 or something. Like, as soon as you're 13, you do 1 year of junior Rotax straight to OK Junior, and realistically, you have to have been at the front almost immediately. So when you do turn 14, bang, Ginetta Juniors, and then on the route to F4, you do a year of Ginetta Juniors. If you don't race, you test. And then, you know, some drivers even skipping Ginetta Juniors, which is a really fundamental way of driving. You're not on a flappy paddle gearbox. You have to use right foot braking. Sometimes you've got to use a clutch. Like, And so, you know, although the F1 drivers and F2 drivers are very, very talented, they are missing some lessons. You know, obviously most aren't, but some drivers are working their way through. And the simple things of like standing starts, having to use a clutch properly, you know, if you have to use a clutch on a downshift or an upshift, they haven't had that experience. And when seat time is so important, it is a bit of a problem. But like, when going back to myself, you know, I'm doing the opposite. You know, F1 is not my goal at all. So it's not really been my dream. It's more the endurance route. It's sort of Le Mans Series, EMS. So in the prototypes in the Sports 1000 car, in the Mittel MT53, it's using a sequential gearbox. So it's blipping on the downshift with the clutch and then just lifting on the upshift. And for me, that was a huge lesson I had to learn. You've got to go into something with the clutch, because if you don't, you're missing some crazy lessons. But this season's been great for me. Like, I mean, I've won a few races now. I think I've run one race at Croft. Race 1 didn't go too well, the throttle body came off. Again, leading.
Suboptimal.
Yeah, slightly frustrating, but I mean, you know, again, positive mindset.
Yeah.
Same with Drive Lounge. You know, with Mittel cars it works because they've got a positive mindset, and esports teams should be learning from the real life teams. It's positive mindset and bang, race 2, you're on about, I won by 15.5 seconds.
Absolutely.
I think that was the first time Sports 1000 had seen a gap like that in at least 10 years.
That mission, something to chase, something to be a part of, something to want and to go after, which I think is something that we do very well at Drive Lounge in terms of sort of where we are and you know, where we're going as well. We've got the education, we've got that pathway for young drivers to come through to show what they can do on the sim, and then, you know, maybe even the excitement beyond that. So yeah, I think something that you do very well in real life, but also something that we can now be a part of and sort of use that experience to help drive us forward at Drive Lounge is very, very good as well. So nice to have you.
Thank you.
Not crashing into each other for the rest of the season.
No promises.
No promises.
No promises. Try my best. Try my best. Yeah, it's been good.
No, welcome. Honestly, thank you for coming in. Honestly, I've just been listening. I feel like I've been one of you guys. I've just been watching.
Great to have a chat with Osbaldeston, our newest signing at Drive Lounge Racing. Now, he's very sweaty, as we've just found out. He dedicates his life to racing. It's not all about that, is it? Right? It's initially, I mean, we all do it for fun, right? But when you're grinding out hundreds upon hundreds of laps, you know, preparing for a sim race, it can feel a little bit of a chore. Sometimes it's good to just unwind, have a bit of fun, have a bit of a laugh, and sort of when we're down at the venue, I mean, we jump on all the time. We have some manic races.
What a privilege.
It's a great job. We have some fun, and it's good to sort of celebrate that side of sim racing, right? Because you started not necessarily on the serious side of sim racing, more on the arcade sort of you know, dynamic of Forza and Gran Turismo and that sort of thing. How different is it for you to have both sort of adapted from Forza into something more serious like iRacing, but then also how important do you think it is to have that time to unwind and sort of just actually enjoy yourself?
Yeah, I mean, so when I first started, I think I was 14 when I first started Gran Turismo 6, and I was doing a lot of drifting. I think drifting was the first thing I wanted to learn because my brother used to drift, and then like I took like an F40 to the Nürburgring and just had no idea what I was doing. Yeah. And then it was from then I was kind of just like, oh, okay, cool. So you kind of find time by doing this, and then bit by bit you get a bit more serious. But like it's still fun to just like jump in an M4 or go around like a random track, Dragon Troll for example. Just have fun and figure out that. But I like learning new physics. I think Assetto Corsa is very different for me as well. I think the curbs are really aggressive, for example, but we have some new cars.
Yes,
and you can take some curves on them, which is really fun.
Yeah, no, the new cars are great. They run off the new the custom shaders patch tire physics models, so it feels much realistic. You can actually hold the slides, you can feel the weight of the car and so on. So come down to Drive Lounge, try them out, and see how quick you can be.
I guess again, I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. But a really weird question. What is fun about sim racing, right? Because, you know, we talk of people coming in all the time. We had people down, you know, a couple of weeks ago doing, you know, Nordschleifer in you know, transit vans and some really wacky random combinations, you know, like Formula E cars at Tsukuba and, you know, really weird out there sort of things. That is a really fun way of exploring sim racing because you can have these really wacky track combinations, but also, again, I do feel like there is a side to appreciate the challenge of getting into a different car, trying our GT3 cars, exploring that challenge of adapting and finding pace.
It's simply about chasing perfection in my view. So always chasing, like getting the best out of whatever you're doing, whether it's go-karts that we have or vans, transit vans. Just trying to push the limit around a new car, new track, seeing how close you can really get to being at the limit, and obviously being faster than you is a bonus.
But a challenge?
Whoa. I'm all right, Listen, if you want to come and you want to have a laugh, you can have a laugh. If you want to be at the top of the times, it can be pretty difficult. And I think there's a wide range of fun to be had, and there's there's the serious side of it as well. But I think it is for anyone, because the serious people, not this guy, but like the serious people can take that break and just have a little bit of fun.
It's a different type of fun, right? Like when you're chasing perfection, that's what you see, because I think you're very data driven, right? Obviously, it's what you do. You're chasing perfection is, okay, I can delay my apex slightly more, and that's more fun to you. Whereas you're a little bit more flamboyant, you're a little bit more theatrical. You like to.
How close can I get to the wall this time?
Yes, that's what I like.
I guess the beauty of sim racing is that you can try these different things that you wouldn't ever do it in real life, because it's just completely inaccessible. You can go from racing Formula 1 cars at Anglesey to then Fiat 500s around the Nordschleife in the span of 5 minutes. And again, different people exploring those different things, and again, for you, if it's going from Formula 1 at Anglesey to Fiat 500s around Nordschleife, it's then, okay, how can I optimise the performance here, and how can I optimise the performance here? And for you, it's how hard can I push this Fiat 500 before it goes into the wall?
Exactly.
So I think it's quite good to see. And again, we work at Drive Lounge, and we see quite a big diversity of people that come in. It's not just the sweaty sim racers, i.e. Noah, who comes in and wants to beat the lap records. It's just anyone who's not given sim racing a go at all. They jump on for their first time and they have a laugh. Genuinely, the accessibility and how much fun you can have in sim racing is something that, it's the reason why we've dedicated parts of our lives to motorsport, to sim racing. So I hope everyone has enjoyed tuning along. Thanks, of course, for your company, myself, Zach Sweeney, Kamarl and Wesley, and also Noah, who's jumped in with us as well. Thank you for tuning in, for listening, and stick around for episode 3, where we're going to be touching on all things motorsport here at Apex at the Lounge.